Lukwago. There is a popular saying or adage among us, Baganda, akasanke kakulema. A person who has failed to run a city wants to run a national grassroots party. Really? Now this one. Who has he ever managed? What has he ever managed in life? Apart from political nomadism, where he's been killing political formations, the DP, Subi, FOC, DJ, wherever he has left those political formations, he has left political turmoil. He attempted to bring political confusion to FDC, and we stepped on his neck on that. I am happy that he found us alert, and we managed to block his political schemes. No wonder his only experience now is in presiding over a stinking city full of potholes and galvanizing political capital out of death, like the recent one of Tezi, where he is directly politically responsible, but only collects media to cry every day. He collects you people when he wants to shed tears so that he may be seen to be concerned about the plight of the people, so that he may win another election in the city. I hope the people of Kampala this time are alert. And I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the FDC to tender our apology to the people of Kampala for fielding such a person as a candidate of the FDC for the mayoral seat of the largest city in Uganda. It is therefore ridiculous that Dr. Kizza Besigye and his team would find it convenient to kill the FDC first before forming another organization. And that is an indictment on them. The Katonga purported National Delegates Conference resolved to extend their term, their so-called interim leadership, led by one Elias Lukwago. We want to observe that in our party constitution, there is no provision for interim leadership. It is ridiculous, foolery, clownish, ultra-vires to assign anybody such a position. We shall treat their resolutions with the contempt that they deserve. We would like to diagnose the underlying problems as follows. Generally, the situation that has happened in Katonga is similar to a neighbor coming to take a decision in a house he doesn't own. Just like attempting to sell land or property he doesn't own. We have been treated to decula politics by our colleagues in Katonga, which group has been run as a cult. These are fun makers, comedians, who even really talk knowing that the law is not with them. I even wonder which law school Lukwago actually went to. I think the law council needs to question, the integrity of the qualifications of Lukwago. I have seen him trying to argue cases, but you see a man who exercises politics in court, and he thought he would do that with us here. Drive their own interests down our throat using Dr. Kizza Besigye as a prop. We said to them, we will not allow our party to be taken by anybody, no matter his political size or weight. This actually makes me believe that there is a very big fundamental problem with the so-called made in 1986 political group or model. These Bush war people who came to this country through the bush, seem to be behaving the same way, who have over time proven to be the same. Everything Ugandans know about Mr. Museveni, Colonel Kizza Besigye seems to be 3 or 2-fold of it. Up to now, as we all know, Mr. Museveni has never dreamt of life outside the presidency, with more ambiguities on the succession plan, which we are really calling on him to begin talking about. It's worse with our brother Colonel Besigye, for as long as he is not the leader of this party or has a proxy here in Najjanankumbi or any anti-government organization, the country and the entire world has no person that can serve better than him. And this is where the problem is. Underlooking others, undermining others. We have lived with this here in the FDC. We have dealt with this here in the FDC. But by and large, we have marched on unabated. Some of the things that hurt the group in Katonga is the fact that we have managed this FDC party to progress, to prosperity, taken it to the country without them. They never imagined a time when an election would be conducted without them and a certain level of success registered. But we made a statement to them in 2021 that without Dr. Kizza Besigye, without Lukwago supporting what we're doing here, we still could participate in an election and return results. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate our friends who are committed to the party, who have resisted the confusion caused by our friends in Katonga and stayed steadfast in the activities and support for the party. You will recall that according to Dr. Besigye, General Muntu was bad for the party and therefore branded a mole and had to be hounded out of the party. And I want to say something a little bit about this. I was in the center of this all as a candidate. And my team began to foment this rumor. And I asked Ingrid, are you sure Muntu is a mole? And she said, without any shade of doubt, he is a mole. Poor man was harassed here. Dr. Besigye and his wife, Dr. Winnie Byanyima, came here, harassed Muntu, wanting him to resign. At an appropriate time, we will tender our apology to Muntu on behalf of those people. Even me, who succeeded General Muntu, together with the Secretary General, Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi, when we refused to serve the interests of Dr. Besigye, when we refused to be his stooges, we branded all sorts of names like sellouts, Engata, Ebikoko, and all other tribes of names that one can ever think of. I can assure you that even his current political peg boys will fall out with him should they attempt to be independent-minded. They are this breed of politicians who hate people who have got political independence and reason objectively using their brains. They want to control people. And this is something that we rejected in the FDC. The country and the world can now see for themselves that the allegation advanced by Dr. Kizza Besigye against the leadership of the FDC were intended to tarnish the Secretary General and myself out of selfish personal considerations. We saw how the team was busy discrediting the leadership of the party, yet this group is even more questionable than those they intend to blackmail. Clearly, Dr. Kizza Besigye has surrounded himself with characters of questionable reputation, knowingly, but has kept silent for his own political expedience. We'll now examine some of these people without fear of favor. The Honorable Semuju Nganda Ibrahim. He's a speaker's peg boy whose integrity is deeply questionable. He's the only Ugandan who has superseded the record of traveling. I was a member of parliament, and you know, travels do not come that easily. That he has managed to travel for more days than exist in a period of 182 days. And we have evidence to this effect. For him, he traveled out of the country on purported parliamentary duties for 196 days in a year. When we were hunting for corrupt officials at parliament, Semuju would have been lined up as a culprit, number one. I am shocked that such a person is heading the process of forming a new party. Is this going to be a party of the corrupt? Certainly it's going to be. Of course, you heard him recently, refusing to sign on a petition. And the reason he gave was really very strange. That because the person who was being petitioned against is his friend, he would prefer not to fight corruption, or that, on a person who is alleged to have been corrupted on account of the person being his friend. And these are people who want to kill FDC and form a new political organization, and they believe that it will appeal to the people of Uganda. I think they are daydreaming. Honorable Francis Mujuke. I really laughed yesterday when I was watching the Morning Breeze, when Mujuke, in his stammering manner, was questioning the knowledge of the law of a teacher of the law. And I think I want to thank the Honorable Sibambi for his polite demeanor. Because he remained polite, was like looking at this fool, who a teacher of law teaching in the Law Development Center in the oldest university in this country. And you go on television to question his credentials, saying all sorts of things about him, and yet there are skeletons in his closet that can be proved. This one's name should actually, we, the Baganda, would call him Somba Bioma. Because whom has he not flinched of money in this country? including those he is hobnobbing with at the party level. I can report he misappropriated a lot of money, but we forgave him. I have received complaints from 56 MPs on account of that kind of theft. This very member, we have privileged information of his active involvement in the Patriotic League of Uganda activities, led by Muhoozi in the Ankole sub-region. In fact, the 2 times he has succeeded to go to parliament, he has either collaborated directly with the NRM or has come, as was recently the case in the election of 2021, come under the protection of the SFC in order to win the election. And Dr. Besigye thinks, in fact, I would like to even inform the public that Dr. Besigye knows all about this, about the involvement of Nwujike with the PLU, about his association with Muhoozi, the first son, about his association with the NRM. But he's prepared to turn the other way because Nwujike sings his praises. Our sister, Honorable Salam, is known to be a regular visitor of State House. We have also seen her on several occasions escorting Mr. Museveni on foreign trips. We don't understand under what capacity. The same person was bankrolled by the State House with billions of shillings, ostensibly to defeat the then Speaker of Parliament in the Kamuli district woman election race. And I am going to say this with authority, because in a meeting that had senior leaders, including Dr. Besigye, she confessed to this. I'm surprised that Dr. Besigye is looking for people who collaborate with the NRM, and yet just before his nose, there are people who do exactly that. Just recently, on the 26th of January 2024, she was invited and attended as a special guest at the NRM Liberation Day celebration in Buenge Town Council, Jinja District, which was presided by Mr. Museveni. We wonder whether the party that is about to be formed, which Honorable Salam seems to be the spokesperson, she was a master of ceremony in the purported delegates conference, represented on was represented by Salam on the NRM Day, or is an extension of the NRM. Elias Lukwago. There is a popular saying or adage among us, Baganda, akasanke kakulema. A person who has failed to run a city wants to run a national grassroots party. Really? Now this one. Who has he ever managed? What has he ever managed in life? Apart from political nomadism, where he's been killing political formations, the DP, Subi, FOC, TJ, wherever he has left those political formations, he has left political turmoil. He attempted to bring political confusion to FDC, and we stepped on his neck on that. I am happy that he found us alert, and we managed to block his political schemes. No wonder his only experience now is in presiding over a stinking city full of potholes and galvanizing political capital out of death, like the recent one of Kitezi, where he is directly politically responsible, but only collects media to cry every day. He collects you people when he wants to shed tears so that he may be seen to be concerned about the plight of the people, so that he may win another election in the city. I hope the people of Kampala this time are alert. And I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the FDC to tender our apology to the people of Kampala for fielding such a person as a candidate of the FDC for the mayoral seat of the largest city in Uganda. We saw General Saleh threatening to withdraw his support from him. When did sworn members of opposition like Lukwago begin surviving on support from General Saleh, President Museveni's young brother? Isn't this the same that will be transferred to the new party in the offing under the stewardship of Lukwago? We challenged Lukwago here about the letter, the simple note written by Saleh, and he nearly burst in neck. He shouted on top of his voice and said, "Look, don't go in that direction," because he feared to be exposed. I have seen him recently saying he went to court, but he was suing the national newspaper. He wasn't suing Saleh, the author of that letter, and who was the first man to defend Lukwago over this. It was Dr. Besigye who defended him. Immediately that note came out, the next day he ran to the media to try to convince the country how clean Lukwago is. Waswa Birigwa. And you know that Waswa Birigwa is known very well, famous for climbing over walls. Without any threat, because he wanted to embarrass the party, he climbed over a wall in Najjanankumbi. We watched him. I was here. Everybody was up in arms against the party. But before long, he was climbing over another wall in Katonga. We don't know which wall he will climb next. He admitted before Dr. Besigye that he had been in meetings with Museveni cutting deals. And yet, he continues to get praises from our friends in Katonga. You heard them calling him unbogable, unshakable. A man who has openly come out and said, he speaks to Museveni. He's on record. A man who wanted to stop an election here and therefore abused the sanctity of the office of chairman. We made a big political blunder in Lukwago and Besigye. Actually, we realized our mistake too late, because under our constitution, a person to become chairman of a party should have a character beyond reproach. A person to become chairman of the party should have served for a certain period of time prior to contesting to become chairman. Besigye came, he was brought by Sebugwao, he had crossed from NRM the day before, and we made a big mistake to elect him as chairman. In fact, it was a constitutional blunder for which the whole FDC should take responsibility. If we were fully awake at the time, we would not be having these problems in the party. At this point, permit me to clear the air a number of issues. Number one, the convening of the National Delegates Conference of the 6th of October 2023 after the ruling of Justice Sekana. There is an allegation that it was not convened properly. I want to assure the public that whereas under our constitution, it is a chairman that is authorized to convene National Delegates Conference. This is done as an office, not as an individual. It is also clearly stated in our constitution that the chairman shall be deputized. Therefore, in the absence of the chairman, and in recognizing the fact that a void can never be left, a deputy will act. And so it was in order for the party, once Birigwa was unwilling to work as the chairman, to resort to his deputy to fill up the gap. I heard Mujuke saying yesterday that which Steve Mukala's Chibuka was in intensive care and could not have signed that letter. This is a matter of personal health, but I think it was unfair to our elder Chibuka, because Chibuka was able to sign that communication calling the National Delegates Conference, which was given within time. Our friends in Katonga are certainly in shock about the manner we have galvanized this country. They do not believe the following that they see, that we have marshaled in 6 political rallies in Uganda. And your cameras have been available. When we went to Soroti, they said, you know, that was Photoshop. I am happy to the Daily Monitor that brought the pictures to the whole country and to the world. When we went to Soroti, we kept our people for the whole day without even a bottle of water. And it was disastrous. So we went out to individuals asking for support. Some gave us food, some gave us meat, some gave us water, some gave us beer. What would we have done with that beer? Would we have poured the beer? Wouldn't we be abusing the generosity of our supporters? What would we have done with the bulls donated to us? Thrown them in the lake? Wouldn't we be abusing the generosity of our supporters and funders? So our friends should just bear the pain of failing to mobilize this country simply because the people who used to do the donkey work, the people who used to do the spade work are no longer with them. And we will continue moving. No matter what they say, you are all invited to Jinja on Saturday the 24th to attend our mega rally that is going to seal the first phase of our country-wide campaigns. Then we will come back and review and see what happens. We will be moving across the country, everywhere, across every stream of this country, up every hill, down every valley, through all twists and turns. Membership is renewed every year. These fund makers in Katonga, according to our records, have not renewed their membership in the last 4 years. Therefore, they are not actual members and do not have the legal locus. They do not have the authority to take decisions on behalf of the FDC. And I want to warn that this must stop. It must stop because we are going to take drastic measures if this does not stop. The FDC is not going to tolerate fund makers. The FDC is not going to tolerate clowns playing with the blood of people who sacrificed. I am reminded about some people who endured the pain of being branded the PRA. Today, of course, Dr. Kizza Besigye's brother lies in Lukwago. Ewano Kirin lies somewhere in Magoro, Nathan Okirin, who died because of this. There is a second Okirin who is also lying in Magoro. There is Opoka who strayed into LRA camps and was summarily executed by Joseph Kony, and many others who died in the cause of liberation of this country. I would like to assure millions of our supporters and sympathizers, both locally and abroad, that under my stewardship, the party shall remain alive. We shall continue upholding our shared values and expanding the spirit of one Uganda, one people, far and beyond. That the mission and vision that our colleagues who died in the struggle pursued will never be betrayed. We in the leadership are not moved by the threat calls of our colleagues in Katonga, which has no locus in law. Of course, our activities would continue unabated. And if you want to know how funny these people are, just wait for 6 months that has been given to see if the FDC is going to be buried, just like Lukwago was prophesied. And with energy, he said he's going to bury FDC unless he buries FDC is not Lukwago. Such a person, I am sure that everybody in this country now knows why Dr. Kizza Besigye kicked the dust to begin with. what the intention was. The intention to kill the FDC, take over its leadership, take over, its membership, and take over this property. Because they want to liquidate it. Lukwago is in a hurry to get money out of this property, so as to have a tandikwa for their new party. They are daydreaming. They have even attempted to come here. And by the way, some of the quarrels about money, Besigye and his team came to this place asking for 30% of every coin that we receive, ostensibly to advance the struggle. For me, I asked them, how far has the struggle gone? Give an account of what we have done in the struggle all this time. I was branded as a rude person, disrespectful of elders, but we are going to lead this country on principle. My clarion call to all of those who veered out of the line, for all of those who were given false hope, for all of those who were misinformed and decided to follow individuals more than following a good idea, that our doors are still open. They are welcome to return. And I want to assure the country and the membership of the FDC, we've been making this call and we have begun to register positive results. I thank you all for your kind attention. God bless you, people. I say this for God and my country.